Everything you're seeing right now is a guess, not a recording. A guess your brain made less than a second ago, and you've never once caught it in the act. What if your entire sense of reality, the colors, the sounds, the solid feeling of the world around you, was never actually real in the way you assume? What if your brain isn't showing you the world at all, but quietly inventing it, moment by moment, and handing you the finished illusion as if it were fact? Let's set the rules first. This isn't philosophy, and it isn't a trick question with no answer. This is neuroscience, tested in labs, documented in peer-reviewed research, repeatable again and again. Every claim in this video comes from real studies on real human brains. So if your reality is being built rather than recorded, what exactly is doing the building, and how far does the illusion go? Let's find out. Start with something simple, your eyes. You'd assume they work like a camera, capturing the world exactly as it is and sending a clean picture to your brain. They don't, not even close. Your eyes actually project a blurry, upside-down, two-dimensional image onto your retina. That's the raw material your brain has to work with. No color correction, no stabilization, no depth. Somehow, what you experience is a smooth, right-side-up, three-dimensional world in vivid color. Your brain isn't receiving that world. It's manufacturing it, in real time, from scraps. And it gets stranger the closer you look. Each of your eyes has a literal hole in it. A blind spot where the optic nerve exits the retina and no light-detecting cells exist at all. You should see a gap there, a small floating void in your vision, all day, every day. You don't. You've never seen it, not once in your entire life. Your brain simply fills the hole in with its best guess, borrowing patterns and colors from the space around it, and stitches the gap shut so seamlessly that you'd swear nothing was ever missing. Think about that for a second. Right now, part of what you're looking at doesn't actually exist. Your brain invented it and never told you. This idea has a name in neuroscience, and it comes from one of the most influential theories in the entire field. Neuroscientist Karl Friston helped popularize the concept of predictive coding, the idea that your brain isn't a passive receiver of information at all. It's a prediction machine. Instead of waiting for your senses to report what's happening and then reacting, your brain is constantly guessing what's about to happen next, building a model of the world in advance, and only adjusting that model when something doesn't match. Reach for a light switch in the dark. Your brain already predicted exactly where your hand would land, before your fingers ever touched anything. If the switch is where you expected, nothing changes. If it isn't, your brain scrambles to update the model instantly. That scramble, that tiny jolt of surprise, is one of the only moments you ever catch your brain admitting the world wasn't quite what it predicted. Now stack a second layer onto this, because prediction alone doesn't explain everything. Your emotions are quietly editing the picture too. Neuroscientist Antonio Damasio spent decades studying how feeling and thinking are far more tangled together than most people assume. His research shows that emotional signals from the body help determine what your brain even considers worth paying attention to in the first place. You don't just see a spider sitting in the corner of a room. Your brain instantly fuses the sight of it with a surge of tension, and the resulting experience isn't neutral data. It's colored, weighted, and emotionally loaded before you've consciously registered anything. Two people can stand in the exact same room, looking at the exact same scene, and walk away with two genuinely different realities, shaped entirely by what their emotions decided mattered. And it isn't only happening in the present moment. Your memory is doing something almost identical, reconstructing rather than replaying. Researcher Doris Tsao, whose work maps how the brain represents faces and visual scenes, has helped show that your brain doesn't store a complete video file of anything you experience. Instead, fragments get scattered across different regions, a piece of color here, a piece of sound there, a piece of emotion somewhere else entirely. Remembering an event means your brain reassembles those scattered fragments from scratch, every single time, which means every memory you have is a little bit rebuilt, not replayed. That childhood memory you're so sure happened exactly one way, your brain has quietly rewritten parts of it more times than you'll ever know. This reconstruction isn't identical from person to person either, which is exactly why two people can look at the same image and see two completely different things. You've probably seen this play out online, when a single photo of a dress splits an entire room into two furious camps, some people insisting it's blue and black, others insisting it's white and gold, both sides absolutely certain the other side is lying. Nobody was lying. Each brain was making a different assumption about the lighting in the photo, and that single hidden assumption changed the color each person consciously experienced. Same photons hitting the eyes. Two entirely different constructed realities. If something as basic as color can split that dramatically, what does that say about everything else your brain is quietly assuming on your behalf? So here's where the data forces a reveal that's hard to sit with. Vision researchers have found that your brain delays the formation of what you consciously see by roughly 80 milliseconds, gathering extra information before finalizing the image, which means the now you're experiencing this instant is already, technically, the past. Your eyes make dozens of rapid jumps called saccades every single minute, and during each one your vision effectively goes dark. You never notice a single blackout. Your brain smooths every gap into one continuous, uninterrupted stream, even though the raw footage underneath is closer to a chopped-up slideshow than a smooth film. So what's the actual answer here? Is reality fake, or is it real? The twist is this. Your reality isn't a lie, but it isn't a direct recording either. It's something stranger than both. A working model, built by your brain from limited, noisy, incomplete signals, stitched together so convincingly that you never feel the seams. It's not designed to show you the truth. It's designed to help you survive, navigate, and act quickly. And most of the time, that's close enough to the truth to work. But close enough isn't the same as exact, and the gap between the two is where illusions, blind spots, and false memories quietly live. This also means the version of reality you're living in was never guaranteed to match anyone else's, not perfectly. Every person you've ever argued with about what really happened was working from their own brain's private reconstruction, built from their own predictions, their own emotional weighting, their own scattered memory fragments. Neither person is necessarily lying. Both are simply trusting a model that was never built to be a perfect mirror of the world in the first place. That single realization quietly explains an enormous number of arguments, misunderstandings, and moments where two people walked away from the exact same event, feeling completely justified in remembering it differently. Once you actually understand this, you can't fully unsee it. That gut feeling that someone in a crowded room is being unfair to you might be your brain's emotional shortcuts painting the scene, not the scene itself. That memory you'd bet your life happened exactly as you remember it might be a patchwork, rebuilt slightly differently every time you've told the story. That empty gap sitting quietly in your vision right now, the one you've never once consciously seen, is proof that your brain has been filling in blanks for you since before you can remember, without asking permission, without a single warning label. Even something as ordinary as déjà vu, that eerie flicker of, "I've lived this exact moment before," is thought by many researchers to be a small misfire in this same predictive system, your brain briefly confusing a fresh prediction with an old memory and blending the two together for half a second. Dreams push the same machinery even further, running your brain's prediction engine with almost no real sensory input at all, which is exactly why dream logic can feel completely convincing while it's happening, and completely absurd the moment you wake up and compare it to the version of reality your brain builds while you're conscious. You walked into this video assuming your eyes and your memory were simply showing you the world as it is. The truth is far stranger, and honestly more remarkable. Your brain builds an entire, convincing universe for you, out of scraps, guesses, and educated shortcuts, moment after moment, for your entire life, without you ever once catching it mid-construction. So look around you right now, at whatever room you're sitting in. How much of what you're seeing is actually out there? And how much of it did your brain just quietly decide to show you?